What were the key events of the Nullification Crisis? Have you ever wondered how a single state could challenge the federal government? The Nullification Crisis is a fascinating chapter in American history that showcases this very struggle. Let's break down the key events that unfolded during this critical period between 1830 and 1833. The crisis began with the passage of the Tariff of 1820, often called the Tariff of Abominations. This tariff imposed high protective duties on imported goods, which Southern states, particularly South Carolina, strongly opposed. They believed these tariffs unfairly favored Northern industries at their expense. In response to this growing discontent, John C. Calhoun, a prominent South Carolina politician and then vice president, anonymously wrote the South Carolina Exposition and Protest in 1828. In this document, he argued that states had the right to nullify federal laws they considered unconstitutional. Calhoun's ideas were rooted in the belief that the United States Constitution was a compact among sovereign states, allowing them to reject federal actions that infringed on their rights. Fast forward to November 1832, South Carolina took a bold step by adopting the Ordinance of Nullification. This ordinance declared the tariffs of 1828 and 1830 to null and void within the state. It also prohibited the collection of these tariffs, directly challenging the authority of the federal government. President Andrew Jackson responded firmly in December 1832. He issued a proclamation asserting the supremacy of federal law and warned that nullification was incompatible with the Union. To back up his stance, he sought congressional approval for the force bill. This bill would allow him to use military force if necessary to enforce federal laws. Tensions escalated as South Carolina threatened to secede from the Union if the federal government attempted to enforce these tariffs. The situation was tense, and it seemed like a major confrontation was on the horizon. However, a political compromise emerged to defuse the crisis. Henry Clay, known as the Great Compromiser, proposed a gradual reduction of tariff rates. Congress passed this compromise in March 1833 alongside the force bill. In response to this agreement, South Carolina repealed its Ordinance of Nullification, bringing an end to the immediate crisis. While the tariffs were lowered, the Nullification Crisis established a precedent regarding the limits of state resistance to federal authority. It highlighted South Carolina's willingness to challenge the federal government and foreshadowed the secessionist movement that would arise in the coming decades. This crisis was an early and significant episode in the ongoing debate over states' rights versus federal power. It showcased the federal government's determination to preserve the Union, a central issue that would play a major role in the American Civil War.